Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel today. First off, thanks for tuning in again. Thanks for watching, and for those who subscribe, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. If not, that's fine too. On this video, we're going to be talking about Project Frankenstang. I've got the bottom side. The weather's been really bad out, so I've been working with the doors down. It's been 51 today, so I had the doors up working today. I've got the bottom side cleaned up. I got it etch primed, and then I epoxy primed it on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. Trying to get this video out for y'all this weekend, something y'all can watch. If not, that's fine too. So I've been spending today, got all the inside sanded down, looking for some little pinholes that I may have missed doing my patches. I think I've got all of them done, but you never know, you might miss one or two small ones. So I got all that cleaned up. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. I've got the patch I put in the trunk floor all worked out with a little bit of filler, very minor filler. It turned out really nice. I'll show you what that looks like. So before I get this done, I'm gonna etch prime the inside of the floor, down the rockers where I stitch welded it in, and hit it with epoxy over top of that, and then paint it. So with that being said, let's check it out real quick. All right, so this is the trunk floor. This is what I'm talking about. I did this little patch right here. Now initially, if you watch my past videos in the trunk, this little hole right here was just had some rust around the edge of it, but the underneath was what was really bad. Underneath is where the fuel tank strap bolts in, and it was rusted out pretty good underneath there. So I went ahead and left it all one piece with it all spot welded to this patch right here, and I put it in right through here, as you can see, with a little bit of filler. And we're going to get that etch prime, epoxy, and then probably work it with a little bit of 2K where I've worked that in to fill in any sand scratches. Also up in here, I've got to do some undercoating up on this side, and I got this side done as well. Paintable undercoating. I've got trying to get most of all the old paint as much as I could off the wheel tubs and inside the trunk floor. If you go back in here, it's all cleaned up. I did leave the factory seam sealer. It was in really good shape, so I left that there. I got up in here really well, scuffed all that down, so I'll make sure I get that primed as best I can. So yeah, you guys see a little bit of surface rust right in here. There's little pits. There's not much you can do unless you have a sandblaster. That's why I use etch primer on the whole car, because that etch primer kills that rust, takes care of that. It converts it, takes care of all that. So, and then I go back over with some epoxy. So, that being said, I'm gonna get some. Hold on, can't see me. It's probably a plus. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some primer mixed up, some etch prime, get it primed. Show you what it looks like when I got the etch primer done, and then I'll probably let that sit overnight. And tomorrow I'll come back in, epoxy the floor on the inside of the car, and let that cure up for a day, and then get some color on the inside, the correct color. It's looking really well. I'm gonna put the sound deadener back under the back seats like it's supposed to. So my stitch where I put those patches in, you're going to see those a little bit until you put the sound deadener over top of that. I wanted to keep those welds as much there as I could, just for support and strength, because that is a seat belt mounting area underneath that seat, and you want to have that as strong as you can. I'm going to do a little more undercoating on the front side of the wheel houses on both sides before I put the primer in, and then when I do epoxy, I'll put it up in there so I can paint over top of that, and it'll look almost factory, as close as I can get it to factory. Again, if you're watching this build series and you have any questions, you can hit me up at foxjunk73@gmail.com. And yeah, so gonna get this done, and at the end of this video, if anybody's watching, I don't know what the thumbnail is gonna be on this. I probably could make another video out of it, but that just wastes my time. I want to talk about the 93 Cobra R that just sold for $211,000 and get your thoughts on that. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that with this video. So let me get this mixed up, get some primer in, and see what it looks like. All right, so yesterday I was able to get the floor pan in primer, full etch primer, let it flash off, and it looks really well. So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. Turned out really nice. Looks good. Got to do a little bit more work in the spare tire tub back there where I did that patch. I'll put some epoxy down on top of that. I might actually just do 2K back there. That way I can fill in some sand scratches or whatever instead of wasting epoxy. So I might just do 2K in the rear and then epoxy in the front floor pan. We'll see how it works out. Haven't decided yet, but I'll let you guys know how that works out. So show you guys what this looks like. Then I'll show you the underneath of the car, what it looks like. It looks really well also. Just keep in mind, once all this is primered, I'm going to put the sound deadener back under where the rear seats are at. Paint it the factory color inside the floor pan, and also some underneath. So we'll check out the floors, and then I'll show you what the bottom turned out like, and let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. So that was yesterday. I ran out of daylight. I'd have done it yesterday, but didn't have time. So let's check this out real quick. All right, so there's the floors. Flashed out really well. Like I said, looks really good. Driver's side floor looks really nice. Passenger side floor looks really good. Like I said, I'm going to do, you can still see where I put the patch in right through here, which is fine. I wanted to keep that welded up solid. So we got enough stuff in there to keep the rigidity of that. So once that's done, I'll go ahead and put the sound deadener on top of that and get that painted. Go back to the back. Here's the spare tire weld right here. Turned out really nice. The main reason I did this patch up in here, I wanted to, and basically because I had to, because the bottom was gone too, but I wanted to keep the original spot welds in the trunk. I don't know if you can see them or not. It's kind of hard, but they're there. Got some up in here, spot welds, and there's a couple on this pad. The spot welds, like I said, I didn't do no fixing here, so spot welds are good here. All the factory spot welds over here, and the spot welds here. So that looks really nice. Got a little bit of etch primer up in there, which is good, like factory. Of course, they use the green E-coat. I'm using the green etch prime, but it'll look the same. And then I got all that prime back up in there. So yeah, looks really well. So, show you the driver's side. Driver's side turned out really well. Now on the passenger side over there, there was a lot of pits like in the flat spots. So that's why I put a lot of heavy primer on the passenger side to try to kill some of that surface rust from those pits. And you can see my stitch weld's really good. Here. Looks really nice. Now it's got some material on it. So, but yeah, it looks really good. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So let me know what y'all think about the floors. I think everything looks really well. There's a couple little spots I seen I might hit again, but that's really about it with that. I'll show you underneath of the car. Underneath turned out really well. I'll show you the patch for that gas tank bracket I had to put in. It was completely rotted where that hole went through. Like I said, if you guys find these buying fine cars or sitting out in fields, but you know, mice can really do some damage on sheet metal when they live up in there and they build nests and all this other stuff. This is kind of a test of that underneath the floors and in the trunk floor itself. But I was lucky I had the original parts car rear clip. I could use the original floors and some of the trunks. So put some of the original sheet metal back in the car. So let's check out underneath of the car, and I'll show you the torque boxes first. I'll show you down the frame rails or the rockers where I put the floor in, how nice and tight they fit on both sides, and show you how thick this Z-bar is actually on this car. So let's check that out. All right, so get down here real quick. First I'll do is I'll move this jack stand. It really ain't doing nothing. So sorry about my hand. You see how nice and tight the floors fit all the way down the rockers? Oh, it's like that on both sides. So the floors fit really well in this car. Now the Z-bar on this thing, you can see up in here, that shit's like a 1/4 inch thick. Now before I welded this together, I spent some time and cleaned off the Z-bar. See where I chipped it, but that's how thick it is. Cleaned off all the Z-bar all the way down the floor because I didn't want to weld to it and catch it on fire. So that's how that looks. Now torque boxes. All right, so let's check out the torque boxes. Torque boxes look super nice. That one looks really, really good. Now I'll show you down the frame rail area. If you look down the frame rail, well, rocker, not frame rail, you see how nice and tight those rockers fit super, super, super good. Just happy with that. Now, up in here, this is all Z-bar right through here. I've cleaned some of this off. You can see this is nice, good floor pan. So what I plan to do is once I get the underneath painted, I'll Z-bar it or undercoat it, whatever you want to talk about it, right through here, all the way down and re-undercoat all of that so it looks equal and fresh. So yep, now I did some stitch welding right through here. And check those out. I stitch welded this right into here, down through here. Now this is the upper torque box. This is going to reinforce the upper a little bit. But you see the upper torque boxes? Super nice up in here, no rust. All of this is super, super clean. No rust at all, got all that cleaned up. It was just all light surface rust, so not a big deal. Now on the lower torque box, I stitch welded it right through here. So that's really, really well. You see you got some weld when I welded the floor pan up in here. So that's reinforced up in there as well. Now the patch up in here, you'll still see the patch, some right through here that I put in, which I'm not worried about that. The mufflers are gonna sit in here. So all that's gonna be basically covered up. It's a driver's car, just not trying to go for perfection here. But yeah, so that's basically that right there. Now, right through here, you can see I missed a couple little pinholes I touched up underneath here, under the car. So I got all that done. And also there was some over here I missed. I'll come back in and re-primer that. Now this is the section right here that I welded in. Like I said, there's a little bit of weld here just for good reinforcement. I don't want to take all that weld out. I want to leave some rigidity there as much as I can. Now, same as down in here. This is all this nasty looking shit right here picking off. That's just undercoating from welding this piece in that burnt the undercoating off. So I've got to come through here, wire wheel all this up, and get it all cleaned up and put some fresh undercoating on all that. Same as that over there. That's the same thing. Now, this is the other patch I put in right through here. I've got to dress that out. I haven't done that yet. I'll get to that when I do dress all this stuff up. I'll do it all at once. So got all this cleaned up. Looking like new money. Like I said, stitch weld is over here, and it's down here in the bottom as well. I'm gonna come back to the frame rails here. Look how clean that stuff is. It's gonna look amazing. Now, back over here to this patch. This is the patch I put in. Now, I know this doesn't look pretty, but keep in mind the gas tank's gonna set from here to here, so all this is gonna be covered up. You won't see any of that. Keeping that weld there just for strength again, because the gas tank does bolt to this, and this on the original on this chassis, this was rusted out right here where the fuel tank bolts up. So this part came off the 93 Cobra. So this is original metal to the actual car that this clip was going back on. Now, up in here, all this nice and clean. You see all the spot welds all up in here, nice and cleaned up. So got no issues there at all. All that looks really, really well. So yeah, you can kind of crawl my big old butt over here. Let me get kind of an idea. Show you guys a rocker. And the floor down through there again. All this is just undercoating. This is floor pan. That's original paint. You can see how the Z-bar goes down through there, and it just looks a nasty, nasty ass mess. That torque box is super nice. Up in here, same thing. Really, really nice. All up in here, looking clean, and we got it all back up in there the best I could. So that's what laying underneath the car for 2 days. Wire wheel, getting surface rust, trying to clean it up and make it look as good as you can does. So, try to get out from under here real quick. Oh, mercy. Whew, getting too old for that shit. Now, I'll show you a few spots. Like I said earlier when I said there's a few spots. The good thing about when you're doing repair work and you're welding, I don't see worth the shit anymore, obviously. But you're always going to have a pinhole here, there that you might have missed when you put a patch in or something. So the good thing is once you put primer down, those pinholes will jump up and say, hey, here I am. So I'll show you one of them I got to fix. One of them is right here. Oop, hold on. You don't need to see that. Right here. See that little pinhole, that daylight? I got to weld that up. That's a pinhole. Everything else around that patch, super, super tight. So just when you get to that stage, go back over and look. This hole right here, that's a rivet for the brake line and the fuel line. This one's the same thing. That's the rivet. I gotta get that done. Now this is what I was talking about. The surface rust, you can see it now. Now I'll go back over with epoxy and 2K and fill some of that in and smooth it all out. Oh, there's one right there. There's a pinhole I gotta get. So yeah. But for the most part, I got everything welded up pretty tight. So let me know what y'all think. I think Frankenstang's turning out well. Oh, back here in the back. This right here looks really good. Where I put that patch in, like I said, I haven't even filled that in with any primer yet. That's just etch prime. So that's gonna look really nice once I get that blocked out. It'll look like a nice factory new spare tire pan. Yeah. So sorry about that. Let me know what y'all think. Like I just said, get some daylight in here. I think it turned out amazing so far compared to what this car looked like, I don't know, a month ago. I'm gonna get the bottom painted, the inside painted. I've got parts coming in for the rear end housing. I'm going to paint the rear end housing, do the brake lines, turn rotors, pads, and all that other stuff. Brake hoses, replace all that stuff, make it look as nice as I can. The center main floor pan, it's staying undercoated. Front wheel wells, I might clean up. Shock towers, I might try to get some of that undercoating off. Just so when you look up in there, it's not all nasty, shitty undercoating. I hate undercoating if you ain't figured that out. So yeah, thanks for watching these videos. If you have any questions, you can hit me up below or foxjunk73@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of this car so far, how you think it's turning out. And yeah, I appreciate it. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's nice out, but it's cold out. It's like 35 degrees outside. So freezing my ass off. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'd appreciate that. Everybody have a good weekend. Oh, enjoy football games this weekend. I don't watch football, but if you do, enjoy the games. Have a good weekend.